Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a very magical success story that I wanted to share with you because in previous videos I had shared with you about the difference between the two different kinds of manifestations that you can create into your world, which is the magical kind and then changing your concept of yourself. But before I get into this success story, I wanted to break down how to change your concept of yourself and create and manifest that way, which will ultimately automatically manifest the life that you should be living based on that concept of yourself. So I wanted to break that down because I get a lot of questions about how to change your concept of yourself, and there's a few different ways to do this. The first way would be if you were to use, like, say, for example, affirmations. You could create an affirmation like, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Something that defines the person that you want to be. Like, you are whole, you are perfect, you are happy, you are satisfied, you are loving, you are harmonious, you are happy. All of these things would be the version of yourself. So you create like an affirmation that of the end result of the concept of yourself that you want to be. And you memorize this and you just repeat this whenever you get a moment throughout the day and repeat it as you're going to sleep. Like if you're ever at a point where you're at a red light, or you're in an elevator, or you're waiting for something, you're in line at the grocery store, you automatically turn within yourself and you start repeating this affirmation within yourself whenever you get a chance. And eventually what this will do is it'll change you within. It'll program the subconscious mind with this new version of yourself that is whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy, or whatever affirmation you would like to describe or define yourself as being right now. And that will impress the subconscious mind to create that new version of yourself. And another way to successfully change your concept of yourself is through visualization, kind of like what Neville Goddard taught my grandfather in the back of the Wilshire Ebell Theater, which was to imagine your family congratulating you like in this visual scene. What Neville Goddard taught was that you were on an ocean liner or a yacht or you were on a ship, and your family was congratulating you on your success and your good fortune, and you now being this successful entrepreneur or being this successful person, and you have all of this money now, you're living comfortably, you're living in the end of your result, and you're in your career, everything is finished, and now you are successful, and people are actually congratulating you. Either a couple of your friends or a couple of your family members are now congratulating you on your good fortune, and you're actually vividly creating this scene in detail with everyone congratulating you. You're taking this feeling and you're getting emotional, you're feeling relieved, and you're feeling satisfied that now that this is your new version of yourself. And you do this right before you go to sleep at night. You visualize this in detail over and over and over again in this movie clip, like a short movie clip, over and over and over in your imagination, and you fall asleep and impress the subconscious mind with this. And this will change your concept of yourself to be this version of yourself that's going to get exactly what you impress the subconscious mind with, because it's going to be automatic after this. Once you impress the subconscious mind with the finished result of you being a specific person, you're going to be that person, and your world's going to see you as this person. So you're going to automatically start doing things and start waking up earlier, start exercising, start making all these phone calls, start doing this, start doing that, start building this, kind of like my grandfather did when he created the Arthur Murray Dance Studios. He visualized being in front of a vast audience. He created it, made it vividly real. He heard the roar of the applause, and then he created Arthur Murray himself to be there at the convention in Las Vegas. He created this scene so real that he impressed the subconscious mind with a new version of himself. So when he went to sleep and actually landed this, he woke up in the morning and started getting these ideas, feeling more motivated, not being satisfied with being at the bottom of the list. Now he has this drive and this motivation and these ideas that are going to get him to the top. And he's going to have all these other people that are going to work in unison together to make that happen. So whatever needs to happen is going to happen once you impress the subconscious mind with this new version of yourself. It's going to happen automatically. You're going to be like this new version of yourself where you're automatically doing these things. You're going to wake up in the morning and not be satisfied with your current self until you get to that level where you've impressed the subconscious mind too. And the subconscious mind is also going to change things in your 3D world. It's also going to transfer you to worlds where a lot of these doors are going to open up as you go and are going to be leading you there and building up this new version of you to sustain that kind of success that you have developed and impressed. And another way you can successfully change your concept of yourself is just to keep a mental image in your mind, just a single photograph in your mind of something that you would have that would imply that you are this new version of yourself, like imagining that you have, or this picture form that you have $20 million in your bank account right now. And who would you be? How would you react to your world? How would you go throughout your day with, and now having $20 million or 200 million, whatever your number would be, that you would be satisfied with in your bank account? So create a mental image of seeing your bank account, just a mental picture of seeing all of these zeros, all of this money in your bank account, and keep bringing that picture back in your mind throughout the day. Keep doing this. And how would you react to your world? And not saying that you need to tell everyone, I have $20 million, I have $20 million. No, you within yourself, you create this new feeling state within you that you now have that money. You don't share that with anyone else. You don't talk about that. You just become this version of yourself throughout the day that now has this much money. And how would you react to your world now? How would you talk now? How would you walk now? How would you drive now? What would you be doing if you had all of that money? And you start reacting to your world this way. And as you do this throughout the day, you build this momentum of this new version of yourself, and then you're carrying that into your subconscious level or the subconscious mind, and then it's going to be impressed, and then you're going to wake up the following day, and you're going to be naturally and automatically acting this way. And once you start acting this way of being wealthy and being successful, your mind's going to start taking you to those places. And doors are going to start opening. You're going to start transferring these different parallel realities to where you're going to have doors start opening. People are going to start coming to your life and be like, hey, I have this idea. What do you think? Do you want this opportunity? These doors are just going to open for you, and you're going to just walk right through them. You're going to be more motivated. You're going to be ready to take action. All right, so that's 3 ways where you can successfully change your concept of yourself. But now we're going to get into the magical side of it, which is in Neville Goddard's Law and the Promise. This is from Trivia. This is chapter 13, which is the following story, which is concerned with the acquiring of seemingly little things, or toys, as I call them, but they are important because of the clear imaginal images that created the toys. The author of the story is one of whom it is said, she has everything. This is true. She has financial, social, and intellectual security. All right, so she's writing this to Neville. As you know, through your teaching and through my practice of that teaching, I have completely changed myself and my life. 2 weeks ago, when you spoke of toys, I realized that I had never used my imagination for the getting of things, because she used this for changing her concept of herself, visualizing and changing the version of herself, but she's never actually used the magical aspect of this for creating, like what she said right here, toys or things. She never used her imagination to acquire things, okay? Just changing her version of herself, like her career or getting a house or certain, things that have a logical sequence of events that are going to develop her to be able to sustain that. So she says she realized that she had never used her imagination for the getting of things and decided it would be fun to try it. You told of a young woman who was given a hat by merely wearing that hat in her imagination. The last thing on earth I needed was a hat, but I wanted to test my imagination. She wanted to test the magical aspect of the law of assumption, of manifesting, the magical side of it. She wanted to test this out. So she selected a hat pictured in a fashion magazine. She cut the picture out and stuck it on the mirror of her dressing table. So make note of this. Make note of this right here, of how she's doing this. She cut the picture out of the magazine of the hat that she wanted to magically manifest and come into her world without doing anything. She wanted to create. So she cut the picture out and stuck it on her mirror of her dressing table. She studied the picture carefully. So she's downloading the information of what the hat looks like from the picture that she cut out from the magazine. All right. So then she shut her eyes, closed her eyes, and in her imagination, she put the hat on her head and wore it as she walked out of the house. So she studied it, and then in her imagination, she puts the hat on and walks out of her house wearing the hat in her imagination, because the world within is the real world. The world without is just a hologram. So this has to work. So she also mentions right here that she only did this one time. She only put the hat on in her imagination and walked out of her house one time. So in the following week, from doing this only one time, she met some friends from a luncheon, and one of them was wearing the exact hat that she had imagined. They all admired it. Everyone that was there was admiring this hat. The very next day, she received a parcel by special delivery messenger. The hat was in the parcel. The exact hat was in the parcel sent to her that she imagined. The friend who had worn it in the day before had sent the hat to her with a note saying she did not particularly care for the hat and didn't even know why she had bought it in the first place, but for some reason she thought that it would look good on her and it would please her if she would accept it. GL. So this is a perfect example of the magical use of the law of assumption of imagining, where you're going to be using the law of thought transmission through other people. So when you imagine something, like what she did with the hat, she imagined it one time, putting it on, walking out with the clear, vivid imagination of her doing this. Through the law of thought transmission, it caused other people to have certain thoughts in their mind, like what she said, I don't even know why I bought this hat. I have no idea why I bought it, but I thought it. But now that I reflect, I think that it will look good on you. Maybe that's why I did buy it. So would you please accept my gift? I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you. So when you apply this type of manifestation using the law of assumption, this magical technique like this, you're going to be using the law of thought transmission so whatever needs to happen in the 3D world, you're going to be shooting off this law of thought transmission that's going to implant certain thoughts in other people. They're going to make them do certain things that are going to lead to that end result that you have imagined to happen, not doing anything at all. But I want to point out the very beginning of the story here where this woman actually changed her concept of herself first. She created the version of herself that was super successful. She changed her life. She changed her entire life. She became financial, social, and created intellectual security in her life before she even attempted to try these magical exercises, which when you change your concept of yourself, it actually creates a different version of you with a very controlled imagination, with a very powerful mind to be able to focus on one thing and make it real. So she went through this stage first of creating the new version of herself by visualizing and imagining her being this new person. And then she was like, okay, so I've never used this for creating toys or things, so she decided to test the law on the magical side of it, she was very effective at it. But I wanted to point this out because she had developed her imagination by changing her concept of herself first, which can sometimes be a requirement in order to get to that level where you can actually start magically manifesting. Because if somebody is trying to perform these magical imaginal acts and they just lay around the couch all day watching social media, have no control over their imagination, they're more than likely not going to be able to do these things, but they are very much possible if you have a developed and controlled imagination and you can focus your attention on one thing and make it real and really focus on the feeling and create these frequencies and these vibrations and energies and really impress the subconscious mind with this. But if you're just laying around watching social media and you don't have a developed imagination or a developed ability to focus on one thing, then you're probably going to fail when you try to use the law of assumption, and then you're going to try to say that it doesn't work. Law of assumption doesn't work. That's because you don't have a controlled imagination and an ability to focus on one thing, and you're not a disciplined person. It doesn't mean that the law of assumption doesn't work. What it means is that you're not ready to use it. But fortunately, I have created an exercise that's going to assist you in developing the muscle of your mind to be able to use Neville Goddard's techniques, to be able to use the law of assumption. And if you do this, if you follow my instructions in this video that I'm going to put on the screen for you, I'm going to link it on the screen. If you click that, watch that, and follow my instructions and do exactly as I say, and keep doing it until you get to where I tell you that you need to be, once you get there, you will be able to use the law of assumption effectively, and you will know that the law of assumption works, and it can actually be very, very simple. All right, I love you, and that's the end of this video. Don't forget to give me one thing you are grateful for, or leave me any comments on any future content you would like me to cover in the box below. Go ahead and cover that. If you want to join any courses, you want to join Neville Book, that is in the link in the description, the very first link in the description. If you want to take these courses that can help develop the muscle of your mind, sign up for the Neville Goddard community. That's the first link in the description below. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.